Hey guys, how are you today? So, we had a really noisy trailer just drive by. Sorry about that. So, on today's video, we are going to be continuing some work on the permaculture area. If you were with me, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, we had worked on a retaining wall back in that section, building up with some cinder block, and we finally got our plant order in from Bluestone. So I will put a link in the description section down below so that you can head over and look at their plants. Be a quick home link, but let me flip you around and show you what we got here in the greenhouse. Okay, so these came in, and most of these are not going to bloom this fall, and that's okay. They are going to end up coming to bear next spring into next summer, because some of these are good into late summer. Like we've got the echinacea. Echinacea will bloom from early spring to late summer, sometimes into late fall for us, depending upon how warm we are or aren't. Same with the rutabaga. We've got this really pretty rutabaga. It's a cherry brandy. We're really looking forward to seeing that out there this year. So all of these guys are going to be going back there, and with any luck they will help to fill in, because most of these plants tend to be more moundy, I guess you could say. So they're going to kind of do things like what this echinacea is doing. And the main reason that we have transitioned to that is just to help with some weed suppression, because we had quite a few of our native weeds invading into this section. Around the end of July, they started to really encroach in the wildflower section. Now, the good thing about these plants is that in between these, we can go on ahead and keep some of, let me show you. We can keep some of these guys in here. These are wildflowers of a sort. I couldn't tell you exactly what they are, but there's definitely little things that are something. So we will still be able to have some wildflowers, but we're hoping that these other plants will help with all the weed encroachment that we have been fighting, because the goal and the purpose of back here is to kind of have this section semi hands-off, where we're not having to come out here and weed and maintain all the time. It's supposed to be just very free form, more like a potager garden style back here. So let's go on ahead and get these guys watered, because a couple of them are a little dry, so I'm going to water them really good, and then we're going to work on getting them into the ground before it gets too much more roasty out here. Still in the upper 80s here right now, so trying to take advantage of the weather as much as we can. Let's go on ahead and get started. Okay, let me find a relatively shady spot here so that you can see and it's not too glary, guys. We get full sun pretty much on most of our property, so I'm going to show you real quickly. Basically what we did is we watered the plants, and then we watered the soil, which we had already amended in the previous video, and that's just to help the plants take root, and it also helps when you're planting to soften the soil. And we have really tough soil here, but I wanted to show you what we did here. We have sort of just this like basic, that up there. Okay, we have just this basic drawing for placement for all of these plants, and this is only the first order. There's I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video that we have a second shipment coming in that has other echinacea, rudbeckia. I think that's all that's in that order. Don't quote me on that. There might be other things in that order, but those are the primary things that are coming in that order, separate from this one. So we are planting things spatially in specific places where we know that we have more weed encroachment and where we know we want to see big splashes of color, because one of the things that we noticed with having the wildflowers out there this year is that midsummer we ended up losing a lot, and it was just brown and there was really nothing flowering back there. So part of what we are doing with this plan is planting things so that we have staggered growths, so that there's basically something always blooming from spring through fall. And then there's some things that foliage wise are going to be pretty in the winter too. They won't just turn brown. We don't have as many of those. Oh yeah, there's allium coming in. I forgot about the allium. We are trying some allium, and here's why. Allium is in the onion family, and onions, if you are in a zone that has issues with Japanese beetles, what they do is they go down into the ground, basically lay their eggs, the grubs form, and then they come up from the ground. The principle of onions in repelling Japanese beetles is that whatever enzyme is in the bulb of the onion basically causes the larva or the egg to not form correctly. So what we are crossing our fingers on is that since the allium is in the onion family, it's just an ornamental onion, that when we put that back there, it will keep the Japanese beetles off of the elderberry, because the elderberry are just down from it, but also that it will also help protect the permaculture area, because the Japanese beetles did end up eating on our permaculture this last year, which I halfway wonder if that's why everything went brown on us in midsummer. Don't know. But okay, now that we've got things placed, we're going to start working on getting everything into the ground. Okay, so we've got everything in. It's probably about 1:30 in the afternoon now, so we really do need to go in. It's getting warm out. get cleaned up for the day. Let me turn you around. Okay, so you had a long shot. So down here, I was nice and I gave my mom the nice section up here, so she got a little bit more planted than I did. Down here is the new section from about here down. Just cut that out so you can see I kicked up some rock on top, which rock is okay because it'll provide some drainage down below for them, but definitely had to stick some good soil in there and chop into the sides really good since it's really heavy clay. So that way the roots will hopefully go down deeper and go out through the sides all around themselves. Clay is difficult to grow in, but we have 2 salvias and a veronica down here, so they're supposed to be very, very hardy in all types of soil. Crossing the fingers that ends up being the case, especially down here in this corner, since we haven't developed it over 3 years. That's just new this year, so the nice soil's down at the other end. But that's all we've got for today. So guys, as always, keep it simple, natural, and essential, and I will see you on the next video.